What if the draft lottery did not exist and the first overall pick had to play for the worst team in the NHL from that season? I went ahead and put every previous first overall pick back on the team they should have been on if there was no draft lottery. So starting off with Bedard, obviously would be Anaheim back in 23. They were the worst team. So at an 87 overall, the Anaheim Ducks just got slightly a little bit better. One of the biggest ones is the fact that Buffalo is going to keep Rasmus Dahlin as well as Owen Power and also pick up Connor McDavid, who's a 99 overall. Colorado will end up losing McKinnon but pick up Nico Hischier at an 89 overall. The Detroit Dead Wings are no longer dead. Alex Lafreniere, although probably the biggest bust out of the remaining 10 first overall picks in the entire league. 86 overall. He will play for Detroit. Taylor Hall will return home to the Edmonton Oilers. I mean, he got picked there first overall. He's going to return to that team. He's only an 83 now that he's 32 years old. Won the MVP like 7.5 years ago. Of course, the Oilers also did go ahead and lose their best player in Connor McDavid. The reigning defending champs just got a whole lot better. A 97 overall Nathan McKinnon, while basically only losing Aaron Ekblad, so it's not even that bad if we're looking at the team. They got better, if anything, and McKinnon alongside Barkov, maybe Sam Reinhart, that is a filthy top six. Ottawa's going to get very lucky. A 94 overall Jack Hughes got picked first overall back in 2019. Took a few years to develop, but man, is he a stud now. He just has to stay healthy, and now Ottawa potentially can become a Stanley Cup contender in this video. The duo we never thought we needed, Crosby and Ovi, will now be matched up at 37 and 39 years of age. Obviously, Crosby, the season prior to him entering the league, there was not a year, so it wouldn't really apply to him. And Ovi, the Pittsburgh Penguins were the worst team in the league the year he got drafted, ended up going to Washington, but now he's going to partner up with the Pittsburgh Penguins and Sid the Kid. Potentially, they can win their final cup together. Funny enough, the Philadelphia Flyers, like 15 years after Patty Kane scored that Stanley Cup winning goal against them, he's going to play for their team, 86 overall at 35 years of age, on a very young and, let's be honest, not a great hockey team overall. Stamkos will end up returning home. He's down to an 87 after a very bad season in Nashville. 34 years old, but again, he played on this team last year. They're going to be very, very good. They also picked up Jake Gensel, basically swapped him and Stamkos, but now they're getting their former captain back on their squad. Now we're going to do the thing that we do pretty much every single video, and that is take a ginormous dump on our front step. In all seriousness, though, we are going to simulate and see who can take home the Stanley Cup at the end of the season. At the end of the season, the Tampa Bay Lightning will go ahead and win the President's Trophy, 55 wins, 23 losses, 4 in overtime. Buffalo, a massive jump for the first time in 13 seasons. They're finally going to make the playoffs. Obviously, they have a much different roster. Colorado had a good year. Toronto was up there. Pittsburgh actually performed, even though they have a very old team. I mean, Sid and Ovi as a duo, even at like age 38, 39, are still absolutely lethal. Florida had a good year. Washington was still up there. And the Chicago Blackhawks, 31 wins, a sex scandal, and just a whole lot of bullshit. Braden Point is going to lead the league in scoring. He had a career high 117 points via Kuch up there at 108. Mitch Marner producing the regular season and going ghost in the playoffs as per usual. McKinnon had a good season. David was decent. Austin Ashchews somehow find the back of the net. Don't have a lot of different players scoring at the top of the league, even though they're on brand new teams. I mean, Ovi had a mediocre season, to be honest. He had a better total in real life, breaking Gretzky's goal record. Think of like 44 goals. He didn't have the same amount of points at 89 though. Speaking of goals, Connor McDavid would lead the way with 56. We got Leon with 53, Nylander 52, Matthews was pretty decent, Kaprizov was up there, Alexei Protas, the GOAT, 44 goals and 69 points, just carrying Washington without their captain. And for the netminders, Andrei Vasilevsky led the way, 49 wins. Holy shit, he had 13 shutouts and a 934?
What the fuck?
I really have never seen greater goaltending stats in the history of this game. 49 wins is insane. That's literally a single season best for any goalie. He had 13 shutouts alongside a 934. That has got to be the greatest goaltending year in NHL history. The dude lost 15 games all season. As we now head into the postseason, I mean, if Vasilevsky plays that way in the playoffs, I don't see how the Tampa Bay Lightning do not win the Stanley Cup. Not going too well for the Sabres. They're down 3-1 to the Toronto Maple Leafs, who still, I mean, they had a great season. Buffalo, they were the second best team in the entire league, and they ended up having to face Toronto in round 1. Luckily, though, Ryan McLeod has given us the go-ahead goal here in Game 5. As we try not to get eliminated. I mean, it's already a win season for the Sabres. They haven't made the playoffs in 13 seasons. They ain't worried about no goddamn Stanley Cup. But luckily, McDavid gets the insurance marker, and the Sabres hold up a minute. Mitch Marner makes it a 1-goal game. Will they force a game 6? Yes, they will. The Lightning leading the Senators 3-2 in their series. They're probably my pick to go all the way. The fact that Vasilevsky had that dominant of a season. I mean, take a look at this. Wait, never a minute. Dylan Cousins. He breaks the shutout, and then Fabian Zetterlund cuts the lead down to 4. No, he cuts the lead ahead to 2. You know the meme, you know. It is what it is. Oh my God. The Lightning are getting dominated right now, and it looks like we're going to have a Game 7 back in Tampa Bay after a 4-1 stomping. All right, Buffalo, can we force a Game 7 as well? Try to tie up the series 2-0 after 1. Bernard Docker and Connor McDavid. Second period, we got ourselves a tie game. All knotted up at 3. We got Nyes in there, as well as Johnny T and Max Domi. And then we got to sit back and pray that Connor McDavid steps up in the third period. There we go. Ryan McLeod, former Edmonton Oiler. He knows what it takes to win in the postseason. He's going to give the Sabres the lead. 4 minutes to go here in game number 6. Will they force a Game 7? Yes, they will. Here we go. Game 7 between the Sens and the Lightning. Obviously, Ottawa, they got not only Brady Tkachuk, but also Jack Hughes on the squad, and they got a 2-0 lead as the scoring of Tampa Bay is completely evaporated like my heart on after 15 minutes of waking up in the morning. Ridley Gregg will make it a 3-0 game. Amadio's 4-0. I mean, Tampa Bay, what is going on, dude? They're getting absolutely busted on. And there's only 3 minutes to spare in a Game 7 where they get shut out by playoff Linus Ullmark. Connor McDavid in a Game 7, especially against the Leafs. I mean, come on now. This has got to be easy work. 2-1 lead after 1. JJ Peterka and Aaron Ekblad are going to help me out. Second period. All right, we're holding on to a 1-goal lead. Matthews actually has a goal in Game 7. I do not believe it. Jack Quinn right now has the game winner in this hockey game. Never mind. Scott Laughton, a multi-goal game in Game 7. I mean, Game 7 is on Sunday night. You never know what'll happen. 5 minutes to go here in the third. We got ourselves a tie game that we are going to potentially hop into overtime in game number 7. The last time the Leafs were here, it was a David Pastrnak OT winner. So let me see Connor McDavid, my glorious king, coming in the zone. McDavid shot. Nice save by Stolarz. He wins that again. McDavid, oh my, Brendan Carlo stripped him like a goddamn hooker. Austin Matthews the other way, failing on even dump-ins right now. He can't get anything on net. The accuracy is just not there. Dahlin the other way, moves up to McDavid. Over to Tage Thompson. TNT unloads one on Stolarz, but he's going to make the save. I mean, Aaron Ekblad, come on. You got to flare out your elbow, dude. That is the strategy right now. Hit Austin Matthews, elbow him in the goddamn head. Morgan Riley coming in the zone. Doesn't get a shot on net. We got a very young netminder. Oh, here we go. McDavid. Why is Connor gliding into the zone? We're going to end up losing that draw. Chris Tanev moves it up to Domi. Max Domi coming in. Over to Matt Nyes. Probably one of the actual rougher players on Toronto. Out in front. Tanev shot. Nice save by Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. Attaboy, buddy. In the corner, JJ. He's got a goal in this game already. Looking for his second of the night. And punch his ticket. Not only his ticket, but also the Buffalo Sabres ticket to the second round and win their first playoff series in like 14 years. Matt Nyes below the goal line. Trying to walk out. He can't do it. Owen Power moves it up to Josh Norris. He's coming down the wing. Let's go all out here. Full pressure, full attack for the Sabres. We need to go one-timer, 153 miles per hour, and my man Stoley made the save. 9:30 left to go. Pacioretty moves it back. OEL to Scott Laughton for the Hattie in Game 7. He doesn't get it to go, and we're going to have another face-off in the defensive zone. 24 seconds to go on the full pressure. We're still in our zone. We can't get the puck out for just some odd reason right now. This Pacioretty, Laughton, and who is it, David Camp line is absolutely giving us the gears. Benson into the zone. He's going to end up losing it. Moves it on the wall. Up to Scott Laughton. No change for Buffalo yet again. Laughton into the zone. You got to get it out, Zach Benson. Move that puck, buddy. Moves it up to Samuelson. He's got no energy. Why are we playing players that are dead tired right now? Put it in this goddamn net. Let's get an offensive zone draw here. OEL. You're getting hounded by TNT right now. There we go, Alex Tuck. Move the body. Connor McDavid is out there on the ice. You can tell by the fact that he has no bucket. It is old-time hockey in this. There it is. McDavid over. Thompson. Shot. Rebound. And Alex Tuck will send the Buffalo Sabres to round number 2 as yet again another Game 7 collapse by the Toronto Maple Leafs. We now move on to the second round where our matchups are as such. We got Minnesota versus Calgary, Vegas and Winnipeg, Washington and Florida, and then finally Buffalo versus the Senators. I am cheering for my Sabres. Ottawa and Buffalo are tied up up at 2 apiece here in the series. 1-0 lead after one. Drake Batherson will give the Sens the lead in a very pivotal game number 5, where in the third period, they're holding on to a 3-1 advantage. Never mind, Tage Thompson makes it a 1-goal game. 14 minutes to go. Ottawa has a very long power play, and there it is. The workhorse from Whitehorse, Dylan Cousins, power play marker, extends the lead to 2. Potentially going up 3-2 over the Sabres. Headed back to Ottawa with the opportunity to go to the conference finals as they end up beating Buffalo 5-2 in game number 5. The Panthers trying to take care of business in 5 games against Washington. A 1-1 tie after one second period. They have the 1-goal lead thanks to the Rat, Brad Marchand. 16 minutes to go. Power play for Washington. Nothing on it. Another power play. They're going to need to capitalize on one of these. Holy hell, Washington. You could really use a goal scorer on your squad as Seth Jones pretty much puts the game out of reach. Never mind, Connor McMichael. It's back to a 1-goal game in the late stages of this third period. Here we go. Late stages of the third. 1 minute to spare, and the Panthers with Nathan MacKinnon have a 1-goal lead. Obviously, the Capitals, they're going to pull their goalie. Oh my God, Matthew Tkachuk just walks into the zone and absolutely rips it on Logan Thompson. I mean, this game is probably over now. Ain't no way they're coming back from a 2-goal lead with less than a minute to go. Right off the draw, Tkachuk just walks in. How did he snipe that? Great gap control there by John Carlson, and he picked that corner. All right, we got 50 seconds to go. Let's see what the Capitals are made of, man. They got done in 5 against Carolina. Alexi Protas moving in, looking like Connor McDavid out there. The GOAT is going to work. John Carlson wires one away, but he doesn't get McMichael on the rebound, and Bob is going to make the save. 30 seconds to spare. I don't know why Washington didn't pull their goal. Oh, they did pull it, and there we go. A 2-goal game by Matthew Tkachuk, and the Florida Panthers, for a 3rd consecutive season, are headed to the conference finals. We're going to see now what Buffalo is made of. Can they force a Game 7 back on home ice? We get a 1-1 tie after one. McLeod and Drake Batherson. Second period, I'll knot it up at 2. Tage Thompson, Claude Giroux. A very tight series, a very tight game. And one of these teams are headed to the conference finals, but I don't know who. I'm praying that it is the Sabres. No! We gave up a short-handed goal to David Perron. Are you serious right now? Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, shut the fuck up and shut the door. What is going on? 3 minutes to spare in the third. 1:09 left to go. A 2-goal lead for the Senators on home ice. I mean, it's hard to believe that they're going to end up blowing this. I mean, I am going to pull the goalie pretty shortly here. Samuelson over to Bernard Docker, finding McLeod. Over, Quinn, shot, nobody wants to go to the net for the rebound. All right, Clevin, he's going to skate that puck up. 40 seconds to spare as Buffalo's going to go for a change. Over, Timmy Stu, can't get a shot on net. Here we go. TNT Thompson the other way. The top line is out. The big dogs got to eat right now. They got to get to work, though, man. 30 seconds to score 2. It's not looking great at all. Coming into the zone. Down low, Timmy Stu. He's going to move it back to the blue line. Dylan Cousins. Down low to Tim Stutzel. Walking out, Timmy, waiting, firing it, and Luukkonen finally decides to actually make a save. 18 seconds to go, 15 seconds remaining. Dahlin to tuck. The Buffalo Sabres, for the first time in 13 years, they made the playoffs. They won a playoff series, but unfortunately, their postseason run will end in the second round up against Jack Hughes and the Ottawa Senators as the nation's capital of Ottawa is headed to the conference finals. We got Winnipeg versus Calgary, Florida, and Ottawa, so I am going to heavily lean to the Eastern Conference as I don't believe Winnipeg or Calgary has any first overall pick on their team, so one of the other teams need to go on and need to win the Stanley Cup. The Ottawa Senators are straight up putting belt to ass right now on Florida. They are up 3-0 in their series, trying to sweep the defending champs, but they're down 2-0 entering the third period. We got Rodriguez and Nathan MacKinnon scoring for Florida as we now lock into a potential Sergei Bobrovsky shutout. Or will the Senators end up sweeping Florida? That would be absurd. I don't think it's going to happen. MacKinnon, he's going to get his second of the night. 5 minutes to go in the third period as Florida will not get swept. Put the brooms away. Every game from here on out is an elimination game for the Florida Panthers. First period, we got no score. Second period, a 1-0 lead. Ridley Gregg giving the Senators the lead here in the third period of an elimination game. Can they go back to the Cup Finals for the first time since 07? Hold up. Godovic says, hell nah, hold my beer. Carter Verhaeghe is going to give the Panthers the lead here with 5 minutes to go in the third period. I mean, 3 minutes, 2 minutes. They're going to hold on. Sergei Bobrovsky stopped 35 shots out of 36, and there will be a game number 6. Are the Florida Panthers really about to complete a reverse sweep? First period, we got a 2-2 tie. We got Tkachuk, Gaudette, Reinhart, and Chabot. Second period, all knotted up at 3. It is a tie game here in Ottawa, game number 6. If the Panthers win, man, I might have to favor them back on a home ice. They have all the momentum. They've won 3 in a row at that point. Oh, wait a minute. Drake Batherson says no. Sergei Bobrovsky getting lit up tonight. 4 goals on 27 shots. 1 minute remaining. 2 minutes to go. It is a 2-goal lead for the Ottawa Senators. 90 seconds to spare in game number 6. The Panthers magic. It looks like it's kind of run out. I'm not going to lie. Down 3-0 this series. They won 2 in a row. And here in game 6 with Jack Hughes and the Ottawa Senators, they're going to punch their ticket to the Stanley Cup Finals. All being an absolute historic collapse here. I mean, 2-goal lead with 45 to go. An empty net for the Panthers. What can they do? Can anybody in Ottawa bury this puck right now? Jack Hughes, move that puck up. Move it over. There it is. Batherson, an empty netter. He absolutely missed it. Forsling over to Jones. And Seth Jones with an absolute pizza right on Batherson's tape. Second of the night. 10th of the postseason. And the Sens, they are headed to the Stanley Cup Final. Our matchup is set. We got the Flames versus the Senators, an all-Canadian Cup Final. So at least one Canadian team is going to win the Stanley Cup. Here we go in game number 1. First period, Ottawa comes out the gates absolutely blazing. A 3-0 lead, 4-0 lead, and they are going to dominate the first game 4-1. All right, game number 2. Ottawa still has home ice advantage for the entirety of this series. They're up 2-1 entering the third, and a third period comeback, 3 unanswered. Kadri gets 2. Blacklund will get the empty netter, and it's a 4-2 win for Calgary in game 2. The series has made the switch now to Calgary for game number 3 entering the third period. It is a 5-2 lead for Ottawa as they are going to go up 2-1 in the Stanley Cup Finals after a 6-3 win. All right, this is a very big swing game here. We're either headed back to Ottawa all tied up at 2, or the Senators going to take a 3-1 series lead. Wait a minute, 2-1 game. Jonathan Huberdeau will score, and then Nazem Kadri back-to-back. We got ourselves a tie game. The Ottawa Senators are pushing hard here, out-shooting Calgary 29-19, and there it is. Captain Brady on the power play on Dustin Wolf gives them the lead. They need Linus Ullmark to lock in here in the final minutes, and he can't even do that. Overtime it is in the Stanley Cup Finals of game number 4. We got a 3-3 tie. One of these two teams is going to win this hockey game. And there's some big outcomes about to happen here. Either a 3-1 series lead or it's all tied up at 2. 18:40 left to go here in the period. Anderson moves it on over to Mackenzie Weegar. Up to Kadri. Kadri getting laid out at the blue line. Brady Tkachuk is an absolute menace right now, wreaking havoc across that ice. Huberdeau sticking his lift, lifting his stick. Same thing over and over again. Jack Hughes the other way. Hughes winds up for a slap shot. I don't think I've ever seen Jack Hughes take a clap bomb in his entire NHL career. Yet here at NHL 25, that is the go-to move. Coronado into the zone, and a nice save by Linus Ullmark. He's going to play that puck as well. Up to Brady. Here comes the Senators the other way. He's going to turn it over, though. Blake Coleman the other way. Claude Giroux on the back check. He's been in many, many playoff games. He knows what it takes. As Tim Stützle absolutely blasts a slap shot for his second of the night. And the Senators have taken a 3-1 series lead in the Stanley Cup Finals. Game 5 in the nation's capital. I bet you the building is absolutely pounding right now. First period, 1-0 lead. Timmy Stu. Second period, a 4-2 lead entering the third period. It is going to be a massive third period for the Flames here. They're down by 2 with halfway through the third period. 9 minutes to spare. 5-2 lead. Jack Hughes, the number 1 overall pick that I put on the Senators, is going to extend the lead for his squad in a game number 5 with the Stanley Cup in the building. The Ottawa Senators are the team to bring Lord Stanley back to Canada, the first team to do so since '93. Jack Hughes at a 94 overall definitely helped out this squad a ton, and they're going to go on a deep playoff run. Their first time back in the postseason. They're going to win the goddamn Stanley Cup, as they absolutely dominated Calgary, a 5-game gentleman sweep. It was not close whatsoever. They were clearly the better team, as Hughes is going to take home his first ever Conn Smythe trophy. He had 6 goals, 29 points, a very good postseason run. And there it is. It's only fitting that the nation's capital of Canada, Ottawa, Ontario, Canada, brings the Stanley Cup home as they're going to win the Stanley Cup, putting every single first overall pick on the worst team in the league, basically eliminating the NHL draft lottery, as Brady Tkachuk now is a Stanley Cup champion. Matthew last year, Brady this year. Funny enough, Kyle Connor's going to win. Oh my God, he had 21 goals in 20 playoff games? What? Honestly, just hand this man the Conn Smythe. I know Winnipeg didn't even make the finals, but this man was by far and away the most valuable player in the postseason. Not only did he have the most goals, also the most points at 31. Mark Scheifele at 29, 14 goals himself. Jack Hughes at 29, Ehlers 27. Huberdeau honestly was decent despite the fact that he was a -1. And we take a look at Linus Ullmark. He had a .917 save percentage, 2 shutouts, and 16 wins. Braden Point is going to take home the Ted Lindsay, Art Ross, and Hart Trophy. Maurice Richard will go to McDavid. Makar is going to win the Norris Hughes, the Conn Smythe. Vasi obviously is going to win the Vezina. And Connor McDavid will take home his first ever Selke Trophy. Well, that is going to do it for this video. If you guys did enjoy it, make sure you leave a like and consider subscribing to the channel. I would like to say thank you all for watching, and until next time, don't be silly. Wrap your willy.